Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast. And you see how they do this, brother? Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator. I'm just kidding. But look, somebody had to be the scapegoat, right? For the 49ers losing that Super Bowl. Okay. And the 49ers are not bringing Steve Wilks back, right? I had a feeling this was going to happen. During the season, it was just a lot of chirping about Steve Wilks' defensive play calling. For a period of time during the season, he was up in the booth. Okay, and Kyle Shanahan was like, hey, man, I need you back on the ground so I can be next to you, right? It seemed to me Kyle Shanahan was questioning Steve Wilks' defensive play calling all season, right? And I mean, even in the Super Bowl, they called out in the broadcast where, Kyle Shanahan called a timeout because he didn't like the way the defense looked. I believe it was in the fourth quarter or in overtime. I forgot where. I think it was fourth quarter. I'm not sure. I forgot. But yeah, I don't think Steve Wilks is a bad defensive coordinator. Is he perfect? No, but he did a good job. Okay, to be a defensive coordinator and lead the team, to the Super Bowl, is really, really good. Will Steve Wilks get another job? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He's like in this weird coaching purgatory. I think he should get a fair shot as a head coach. I really think so. And really, to me, is just kind of like this, just kind of Kyle Shanahan, no accountability, right? There was a lot of questions about the receiving the ball in overtime first, right? And the whole overtime rules that are different in the postseason. And players were coming out saying they didn't know the rules, and some of them are walking it back. It seemed like there was a lot of discombobulation on the 49ers side, and Steve Wilks is the end product of all that to be gone, right? It's the NFL. This business isn't supposed to be fair. It's not fair. But in this situation, I think letting him go they're making a statement. I think just from the game, I thought it was going to be a defensive battle, and it was. The defense did its job. The defense got a turnover, right? The defense was able to hold Patrick Mahomes in regulation to 19 points, right? Okay, if the 49ers had made that field goal, had not missed the extra point, I mean, we could be talking about a whole different scenario right now, right? But look, I don't know if this is Kyle Shanahan. Listen, it probably is Kyle Shanahan's doing. He has a lot of control in that organization. I mean, when you can trade multiple picks to draft Trey Lance, you have a lot of pull, right? So, Kyle Shanahan, this is his third Super Bowl loss, right? He loses as a coordinator with Atlanta. He loses again in the 2019 season to Patrick Mahomes, and then he loses again to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, right? At some point, Kyle Shanahan has to change his offense, right? It's a lot of motion, run to pass, run base heavy offense. He needs to scheme up something else. He needs to come up with an additional offensive identity, right? I mean, George Kittle, had 4 yards in that game? Crazy, right? The only player that was really balling was Christian McCaffrey, right? And yeah, Brock Purdy had a good game, but he didn't have this super spectacular game, right? So yeah, I mean, it sucks for Steve Wilks. I think he's a good coordinator. You know what I'm saying? The team, DeMeco Ryans leaves, you come in, this team is in the Super Bowl, right? But somehow this will be spin to look at as a negative on Steve Wilks. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's able to land on his feet somewhere else, get in the coordinator job, or become a head coach. At this point, I highly doubt it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to get fired it's not a good look when you are the defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl and you got fired, right? Crazy, man. Tough NFL business. Somebody had to be the fall guy. I think it's Kyle Shanahan, his play calling. I thought in real time when it happened, when he received the ball, because usually like when they in the overtime when they asked to receive the ball, I was like, okay. If for a quick second I scratched my head, I was just like, okay, fine. Maybe they're probably gonna stay. They really feel confident in scoring. But I thought that, usually you defer, you take the, what I'm saying, you let, it's not a sudden death situation. They're gonna touch the ball. Their defense was playing really good for most of the game, right? Not enough, right? So that's crazy, man. In this business, man, you can be a Super Bowl representing defensive coordinator and still lose your job. It's not like the 49ers got blown off the field or anything like that. I mean, yeah, there was some mistakes, but I mean, the offense made some mistakes too. You know what I'm saying? Like in the overtime, you want to, instead of like Mr. McCaffrey was running the ball, and then you want to start throwing it on third, and they had to go for that field goal. I'm like, yo, you had the momentum running the ball. Put the ball back in McCaffrey's hand. You know what I'm saying? I know McCaffrey was tired, but hey, for 2 more plays, man, what you got, brother? Just a couple more plays, right? No. So, this fire is more about Kyle Shanahan. They're not going to fire Kyle Shanahan, but something has to change. So, okay, then you fire him. Then the next coordinator you get, are you going to be back in the Super Bowl next season, right? Crazy, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.